Hiya, it is the Redmen TV. It is the Liverpool news update show, and Liverpool play football this weekend. Thank God for that. I've had enough of the international break. I can imagine you all feel the same as well. But we will round up what has happened so far in that international break. There's been some good news for the Reds in terms of individual performances. But before we get to any of that, let's start off with exactly what this news update is called, and that is Robertson's injury update. Andrew Robertson did speak this weekend. I think it was over the fact that his country drew 3-3 with Norway. And Norway that didn't feature Erling Haaland because he's injured. However, surprisingly, get this, he will be fit for Liverpool. What a surprise. What a surprise. Anyway, I'll get to some of your comments in a minute. I can see them. But let's go straight into what Andy Robertson said. He said, getting there slowly but surely, surgery was a success, which was the main thing. No complications from it or anything like that. We obviously knew he had to undergo surgery after the last international break where I think it was like Spain's goalkeeper just flattened him. That was a good time. We lost him, a very important player. And we've been dealing with Kostas Tsimikas, and I don't mind Kostas Tsimikas, but he's not Andy Robertson, and I think we all are feeling that miss. And I think we're all a little bit, got some trepidation when it comes to December and the fixtures that we have, because we need our defence to really stay tight at the back, make sure that we don't concede silly goals, we don't make errors, and hopefully Kostas can do that for us. Anyway, Robertson carried on to say, so far so good. I think it's been about 3 weeks since my surgery now, so everything is progressing well. I've just got to take it bit by bit and week by week. Everything has went well up to this point, and hopefully that continues, and then hopefully before we know it, I'll be back on the grass. I don't know, I mean, I've not had shoulder surgery. I've injured my shoulder many a times. But how does Robertson stay fit and in shape whilst he's doing that? I assume you can't jog, you can't do anything like that. Is he literally just using his other arm and doing weights? Is that the only thing he's doing in the gym? I am slightly worried, not just about the fact that, obviously he's had to undergo surgery and the fact that needs to repair itself, but also, how long it takes for him to get back fit. I don't know. Maybe they are doing something. They surely are, that I don't know of. But it's good to see that Andy Robbo is in high spirits. I think we're all sat here, and I think it was a point that many people targeted in the summer transfer window, thinking potentially we needed a left-footed, left-sided centre-back or left-back, a kind of Gavardiol, Nathan Ake player who can play both left-back and centre-back. And Robbo, I think, has surprised us all. I think he didn't do great against Chelsea, albeit he didn't have much help. But since then, I think he's done really well. His goal against Wolves as well is pretty unbelievable, how he's a left-back and ended up at the right side of the box. But thankfully, Andrew Robbo is on the way to recovering. It's mad that it's already been 3 weeks since he had surgery. I think it was next year where he was aiming to be back from. But it's good to see that no complications have happened, because obviously we saw Mo Salah get a shoulder injury in that final. Yes, sadly we're bringing that up. And he couldn't continue to play. He had to go off. And he really struggled with it. He had to go through a lot to get it back fully healthy and his strength. And as a defender, that's especially, you need your strength there. So we need to make sure he's back as good as possible. But we certainly do miss him. We obviously know, I mentioned earlier, that December fixtures especially are quite vile, I will not lie. But he carried on and said, I've not looked that far ahead talking about the fixtures. I'm just taking it week by week. I'm trying not to get frustrated. I'm not the best injured, so I'm trying to take small wins every single week. I don't want to put a game in mind and then I don't make it or I come back before then. I'm just taking it slowly but surely just now, and then there will be a time to start pushing it. And when that comes, I'll try and get on the pitch as quick as possible. And that's it. It's probably best that no one gives him a time because we've seen many players get setbacks from injuries, and it's just another mental effect that it has on you. You were supposed to be back for this game, everything was looking great, but actually you've had a setback. Hopefully he will be back sooner rather than later because we need him. It's also interesting to see, say he does have a setback, which we all hope he doesn't, but say something happens, what Liverpool do in that January transfer window. I think we all know the players we already want, but there might be something that needs to happen. Who knows? We don't know how long Andy Robbie is out. If he is out for an extended period after that, it would not surprise me if Liverpool, went in and tried to get something done. But then it also would surprise me because I'm hearing we're not after a DM for some reason. Despise international breaks, says Ellie. All of us feel the same. It is crap. It is absolutely crap. I mean, what has anyone done this weekend? I don't think I put myself through England v someone. Maybe Malta. No. It was someone. And I wasted 2 hours of my life. I will never get those 2 hours back. It was absolutely crap. I only watched it for Trent and it turns out he got man of the match. But it was poor. Robbie will come back stronger and better. Let's hope so. He does have that kind of mentality. So that would not surprise me. So maybe he'll come back better. I don't know. There was rumours, wasn't it, in the summer where Real Madrid wants them. I mean, no thank you. Hi Chloe, how are you? I hope Robertson returns soon as we desperately need him. We do. I mean, like I just mentioned there, Costas is a really good, a backup. He is a backup, he's a substitute, and he's really, really good to come off the bench. I think actually going forward, he's really good. Over set pieces, I think he's really, really good. But when he becomes your number one week in, week out, that's when you see the little problems. But I don't think he's been awful. He's had lapses of concentration. But I also think, the last game we played, he got 2 assists. First half, he was quite bad. Second half, he was really, really good. So hopefully that's gave him a little bit of confidence. But yeah, I agree. Let's hope he comes back soon. Costas against Doku scares me. It scares me as well. I hate how that's a player that Liverpool have been looking at since the Euros, and City just went and bought him because that's wonderful. No injuries coming back, let's hope not. There sadly is still several days more of internationals, but hopefully no one does come back injured, because I cannot be bothered with that. Watching England is like pulling teeth, I agree. It is absolutely awful. I don't remember how the goals went in. Don't remember. I think they might have scored a nice goal, one touch passing at some point. That was about it. That's all I remember. If you think watching England is a waste of time, imagine watching Koeman's Netherlands. Yeah, Koeman's not great, is he? But you do have Virgil van Dijk and Cody Gakpo. So, at least there's some interest there. I know I was watching Trent, but yeah, there was nothing to get excited about, absolutely nothing. Netherlands have progressed though, and are in the Euros 2024, so that's really good for Virgil van Dijk. He'll be made up with that. Anyway, let's get to the international break roundup, and also what I will say is, there is something coming up that we're going to talk about that I don't fully know 100% what's going on, but we're going to talk about it, and I think we'll all. I mean, you can have your thoughts on it, but it happened on Friday, I think, or it could have happened Saturday. And I was just chilling, having quite a crap day, was up early in the morning, and then this news broke, and it was incredible. Anyway, let's go around what happened in the international break, and Szoboszlai is exactly where we're going to start, because I think his Hungary team was already qualified, but anyway, he did score a brace against Montenegro in the final Euro 2024 qualifying Budapest, which is good, which means he should be back in Liverpool soon. If that was the final Euro 2024 qualifier, he's coming back earlier than the rest of them. That's good because he deserves a break. Szoboszlai did score 2 goals in the space of 2 minutes, which is absolutely ridiculous. And by the way, the goals aren't crap goals. The goals are incredible. I don't know whether I can show you them now, even if they're on Twitter, because technically YouTube would have a problem with that. Anyway, the first one was him just absolutely, I think he megsed someone on the right-hand side of the box, cut onto his right foot around the player and nestled it bottom bins. And that got, Hungary back to 1-1. Once again, I think they were already qualified for Euro 2024, so I don't think the result actually mattered. But anyway, they kicked off, and 2 minutes later, on the left-hand side, he did a give and go. And yeah, he scored 2 goals. He was incredible. And once again, I don't think I can show you, but if you can go on Twitter and just search Dominic Szoboszlai and see the goals. We talked about him, that Bournemouth game not being incredible. Luton, it looked like he'd played far too much football. He looked a bit shattered. And then it was the game after that. He came on against Toulouse, didn't look great. And since then, he's not really, he's kind of got through. I mean, the last game I thought he was decent. I didn't think he was unbelievable like some of his earlier performances, but he was decent, and that's what you need him to be. And the fact that he's gone away with Hungary and being the main man there, and actually, got his goals, hopefully means that he comes back with a hunger and in good form, because we will certainly need him at his best against Manchester City. On to Mo Salah then. He was in action on Sunday. He helped Egypt beat Sierra Leone 2-0 to make it 2 wins from 2 at the start of the CIF. Is that just AFCON World Cup 20? What is that? Oh, why is the World Cup 2026 qualification on? It's 2023. Right, I can understand Euro 2024. It's next summer. 2026 is 3 years away. What is this about? Why am I having international breaks for things that are coming up in 2026? It makes no sense. Anyway, he scored 4 in his side 6-0 win, and I'm not even going to say over because I do not know how you pronounce that, and I'm not going to butcher it. I'm just going to... No. Salah allowed Trezeguet, the former Aston Villa forward, to take over goal scoring duties for this one. He did get an assist in that 2-0 win. And now he returns to Merseyside, where he'll have a full week of training with the clash of City coming up. Important that he is back. Training with a full week as well. Important. Give him a couple of rest days if needed and then come back to training. Diogo Jota was an unused substitute as Portugal beat Iceland 2-0 on Sunday. He also plays at left wing back or something mad. Got an assist, which, I mean, I'm not saying Liverpool try it, but good to see his versatility. That's what he's named for. Virgil van Dijk and Gakpo are off to Euro 2024, like I mentioned. The Netherlands qualified for the Euros courtesy of a nervy 1-0 win over Republic of Ireland. I don't know who actually scored in that game. I will check. But Virgil van Dijk, obviously, I'm very happy for him. I think the World Cup didn't go that great for the Netherlands. We all saw how that went. The game against Argentina, though, was quite good. But it was heartbreak for Virgil van Dijk and Cody Gakpo. And now they get to go to an... I don't think they're going to win. I don't think they're going to do anything. I'm so sorry. I think the Netherlands as a whole are quite crap. They've got some great individual players, but... I'm not having to pie up front with... who else do they even have up front? Weghorst. That is the other player. I'm not having it. They've got Dumfries, who scored an unbelievable goal the other week for Inter Milan. He plays somewhere. But yeah, Netherlands for me on one of the favourites to win Euro 2024, but hopefully Virgil van Dijk and Cody Gakpo will have a decent time nonetheless. The news for Ryan Gravenberch is that he will have the chance of breaking into Ronald Koeman's side if he continues his encouraging form for Liverpool, obviously. Because he decided to stay and not go on international duty the day after he'd signed for Liverpool and wants to sort himself out and make sure he has a home. He didn't go on international duty, and Ronald Koeman and the rest of the Netherlands hate him for reasons unbeknown, but it looks like he will eventually get his chance, and rightfully so. He's been incredible. Talking about another youngster who has been incredible, and that's Harvey Elliott. What a time he's having for England. He continued to impress as always. He scored a 25-yarder as they beat Serbia on Saturday. Quite good goal, nestles into the bottom corner. He's obviously doing quite well for Liverpool. I think him coming off the bench has been really, really good. But England, he's been absolutely killing it. He had the captain's armband in the last international break. He scored a hat-trick in that international break, if I'm not mistaken. He had a good... They won the... What did they win? It was like the World Cup or the Euros, the unders. Don't know what it was. Forgot about it. It was in the summer. And do I care about international footy? Absolutely not. But he did win that with Curtis Jones, which is great to see. He's back in action on Tuesday night, though. They face Northern Ireland at Goodison Park, though. So, you know, at least Tuesday night he can go back to his own house and just rest, and then he's got the rest of the week. But yeah, I mean... That is pretty much all of the players. Diaz, obviously, what a memory and a story for him. I think they were losing, and in the space of like 15 minutes, he scored 2 goals. His dad's reaction to that was unbelievable as well. And there is news that Liverpool are bringing Diaz's family for Christmas over to Liverpool so that they can celebrate it together, which is just absolutely boss. Great to see. Diaz, all of them will still be in action. Darwin Núñez being absolutely tearing it apart. Got a goal against Argentina. Absolutely sunk the goat over there. But yeah, that is the news update for all of the international footy. I mentioned a footballer there who was injured and isn't, and that is Haaland. He's back. We all are not surprised. There's another player as well, Rodri. Rodri said he had a bit of discomfort and missed Spain's first game. However, he played like 80 minutes or something yesterday. So good to see that, you know, all of those players, you know, when the journalists got really bored at the start of the week and had to come out with, 10 players who might be missing from Manchester City v Liverpool. No, all of them who are in a blue shirt are back. So could just stop. Never believe anything. If Pep Guardiola says someone's been injured in the warm-up, don't believe him. Just don't believe a word. But it is important that the Reds get back as soon as possible. Because if we're all being honest, 12:30 after an international break, we need the players back as soon as possible, which is why Dominic Szoboszlai being back is good. Obviously, there's also the likes of Diogo Jota who should be back, Mo Salah who should be back. So hopefully not everyone is going to be extremely tired. Brazil play Argentina on Wednesday at 12:30. Okay, so they play Tuesday night, which is Wednesday early hours, 12:30. So coming back Wednesday, they've got Thursday, Friday. That's not great, I'm not going to lie. Not a fan of that. Colombia play tomorrow at 11. So once again, Tuesday night. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Only 2 days back for the South American lads. Don't make me feel great. Uruguay play at 11:30 as well. Oh my god. Yeah, so they all should be back Wednesday. They'll probably have Wednesday off, I'm guessing. And then Thursday, Friday, they're going to have to be back and playing football ready for Saturday 12:30. I don't know about you, but I do not look forward to that. Anyway, on to the last story, which has nothing to do with Liverpool, but also something to do with Liverpool. And that is that Everton were handed a 10-point deduction. And obviously, looking at this, and obviously your We Buy Any Car thing there, that's just popped up. Don't ask me about that. Looking at this, everyone's talking about a real... it makes relegation look like a very real prospect. No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. I would love nothing more than them to go down. But even with a 10-point deduction, Everton will be very, very safe. There are 3 very worse teams than them. And yeah, they've got away with that in terms of just teams being crap once again. But looking at it, Burnley, Leeds and Leicester intend to sue Everton for a total of 300 million. Everton could lose a host of star names, including Jordan Pickford. I wouldn't say he's a star, but sure, whatever you do. Who's put this in the comments? Because whoever, I'm going to need you to touch your head. We can't be jinxing anything. I take the point, but we don't want to jinx things. So let's rein in a little bit. Watch City start pulling players out of international duty and every injured player is suddenly fit. Yes, no, that sounds about right for them. City players out here faking injuries. Only if Liverpool players did that. I would love that. That's not how it works, though. Jota will not be a threat to Walker, while on the other side, Diaz will be a thorn. I don't know. I totally get the point, and I think probably Diaz will start, and I think Jota can feel extremely hard done by. But Jota, he's not going to be Kyle Walker for pace, but Jota with the ball at his feet is actually really, really good. His close control is incredible, and he cuts inside. He doesn't stay out wide. He finds himself in the box a lot. So, I think both are good. I understand what you're saying, though. I think I'd prefer Diaz against Kyle Walker, that I would. But, we'll soon see. Elliott is definitely spending way too much time with Nunes and all of it. I know Salah went head to head with a player. I couldn't tell you the player. And then Harvey Elliott did the same. Gave a bit back. I enjoy it. I love that. Really, really do it. Diaz and McAllister will be on the bench. I certainly hope Diaz won't. Diaz, due to horrific circumstances, has actually had some time off physically, not mentally. Mentally, he'd have been all over the place. But maybe the fact that, he missed a couple of games might mean that he is going to start against City. I don't know. We've got KW Gaming saying Jota needs to start Saturday. I love Jota. I really do. I've been really impressed with him. He's been one of the star players so far this season for me. But I couldn't tell you what happens because all of our players are on international duty and who knows what time they'll get back and if they're actually, if they're jet lagged at any point. But anyway, back to Everton. I'm not 100% sure what they've done that makes them get a 10-point deduction. I know it was something to do with the payments on the stadium. And look, they breached financial rules. I get that. And I don't think they have a leg to stand on. I think they all know that they breached the rules. I think they were very open with that. What I think, though, is that, and what I've been seeing, and a lot of yous can get in the chat what yous think, 10 points seems like quite a lot, considering there's a team there with 115 charges who, if you're following consistency, I don't know what tier in English football they're going to be in, but it's going to be nowhere near the Premier League. And, I don't know. I think what Everton have done are bad, but they did try to cooperate since then with the Premier League. But yeah, what do you think? Do you think 10 points is fair? Too much? Too little? I mean, I'm in the middle. I can understand why they're furious that it's, as high as 10 points, but they also did break rules, and that's just what it is. I think what a lot of people think is that the deduction doesn't actually fit the crime of what they've done. But there are obviously Chelsea, who a couple of weeks ago, nothing's happened since, they've not been charged with anything, but they did openly come to the Premier League and say they'd found a loophole that they'd just been using, that they literally had been taken advantage of. So let's see what happens with them. If City get charged, everyone will sue them into oblivion. Let's hope so. Would love that. Because let's be honest, how many trophies? I think actually when you correlate, there was something like that dated back to the things that they've been done for and what years it was. And since they actually started winning trophies, around about then is since when they've been cheating. So, I'm just saying. That's what happens there. If you don't want to be sanctioned, don't break the rules. I agree. I think they should be. I don't know whether 10 points is a fair number, but I also agree. I'd like, just don't break the rules next time and you'll be absolutely sound, to be honest. What also might mess them up the most, though, is the fact that Leeds, Burnley, and let me get the other team, because I've already forgot what team wanted to... Burnley, Leeds and Leicester intend to sue Everton. Everton already struggling financially. 300 mil to them with a point deduction might be a little bit ridiculous. There is news that Everton have challenged the point deduction, and it said that they expect it to be 6 points instead of 10. Even then, you know, it's a point deduction, so I think as a Liverpool fan we take that. But it's mad that for one single breach they got 10 points. But there is Chelsea there who certainly have breached more than one. Manchester City, who at this moment in time have 115. But who knows, by the time that someone looks through all of them, they could genuinely be on 175. I don't know. They might have broken more rules. Man City should be in the National League North then once the charge is found. I just want them liquidated. That's not going to happen. That's what I'd really like. But what I will say is, if the Premier League are making Everton the example here, which they might be doing, and City somehow get off the hook, that is absolutely ridiculous. Because City are 115 charges, and the majority of them, they can't back anything up. They can't give anything that makes it go away. There is just so many that are too obvious. And they've also, like, all of this happened. I said this in a group chat the other day. I said, like, how much longer can this go on for? Like, can they continue to postpone it? And someone was like, they've been postponing it for years. The reason that they're getting most of these financial breaches is because they didn't show evidence or they didn't show statements. And that's the exact point. They've been doing this for years on end. And we can't let it get to a point where no one cares because it's been that long. Chelsea remain under investigation. Charges look inevitable, given that the new owners have self-reported what appears to be a substantial payment that would have broken Premier League rules. That is incredible, by the way. They broke the rules under Roman Abramovich. Their new owners have just turned around and said to the Premier League, hey lads, look, we've found this loophole that you've got here. Turns out that they've basically just handed themselves in. Look forward to all of that. Legal delay tactics, exactly. They'll be saying we need to investigate every single charge. Who knows how long that could take, but I'd assume years because it's Manchester City and they seem to get away with stuff. 10 points is fair as long as it applies to City. I agree. I think I don't know whether I agree. I still think 10 points for one breach, and the breach being a payment on a stadium is slightly different to what City have been doing. But if it stays at 10, then that's perfectly fine as long as the same consequences happen to those who've done 100 times worse, because Manchester City have. Thoughts on City being relegated out of Football League? I just want them to liquidate. I think I've already said that. It's not going to happen. But that's what in an ideal world, that's what I'd want. Yeah, I've had enough of them, to be honest. Anyway, that has been all. I mean, there's not been loads because there's still an international break, but fear not, because the Reds do play on Saturday, 12:30 against Manchester City. We will be doing a watch-along for that. I mean, we most defo will. I'll be there at the game, though. Hopefully the Reds win. If not, I'll cry. Also on that, we'll have the match preview coming up later on this week. Before then, later on, we do have our Red Men Originals podcast. If you want to join us for that, we'll be going in depth on everything that we've spoken about here. But before I do go, it is nearly Christmas time. and we have came out with Christmas jumpers, and I'm going to show you these because not just are they selling fast, but people are running out of time to get them before Christmas. These are our new designs that have just dropped. We've got one of Dom, obviously. We've got one of the famous 7-0 win over Manchester United. Nunes, because why not? And Copite singing. Alongside them, we also have our Retros 90 shirts that we do pretty much nearly every Christmas. Our new Christmas jumpers for this year are very nearly sold out. And then we've sold out of last year's Christmas jumpers, which I thought were belters. That green believer one, I will be wearing this year again. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Have a boss week and up the Reds.
Thank you so very, very much for checking out the video. If you enjoyed it, drop a like. The season is now well underway. If you need extra Redmen content, be it podcast, videos, documentaries, interviews, and general shows, fill your boots on redmenplus.com today.